Okay, so when you think about the invention of electricity, you probably picture a light bulb moment, right? A clean scientific debate. But that's not what happened. Not even close. What we're talking about today is a war, a violent, bitter, and deeply personal feud between two geniuses who absolutely despised each other. This battle wasn't fought in some pristine lab, it was fought in the headlines, with fear, with propaganda, and with blood. Let's get into it.
So, who are our two fighters? In one corner, you've got Thomas Edison. You know him, right? The Wizard of Menlo Park. He was an American icon, a master of public relations, and, let's be honest, a completely ruthless businessman. And in the other corner, Nikola Tesla. He was this eccentric genius, an immigrant from Serbia, a true visionary who could literally build entire inventions in his mind, piece by piece. It's the ultimate showdown, the wizard versus the thief. This is their story.
All right, so this was a clash of titans, a real battle for the future. And at the heart of it all, two completely different ideas about how to power the entire world. We're not just talking about wires and watts here. This was a battle for the soul of the 20th century, a choice between two completely different paths forward for all of us.
So, Edison's big idea was something called direct current, or DC. But it had a fatal flaw. It was weak. It lost power really fast, meaning you'd need a power plant on pretty much every street corner just to keep the lights on. It was a system basically built to create a monopoly. But then there was Tesla's idea, alternating current, or AC. And honestly, it was like magic by comparison. It was so elegant, so efficient, it could send huge amounts of power hundreds of miles down a thin wire. There was no question which technology was better. It was AC, hands down. So where does this all start? Well, the fuse was lit back in 1884. Picture this, a young, absolutely brilliant Nikola Tesla steps off a boat in America. He's got like 4 cents in his pocket and a single letter of recommendation. And who's it for? The one and only Thomas Edison. The letter basically said, "Dear Mr. Edison, I know 2 great men in this world. You are one of them, and this young man is the other." What an intro, right?
So at the time, Edison was having huge problems. His DC generators, they were inefficient, they were constantly breaking down. So he looks at this young genius, Tesla, and makes him an offer. "Fix my generators," he says, "redesign the whole system, and I'll give you $50,000. Now, you gotta understand, that's like millions of dollars today. It was a life-changing amount of money. So, what does Tesla do? He dives in, working day and night, barely sleeping for months to solve Edison's problem. And he does it. He completely redesigns the machines, making them way more efficient, saving Edison a fortune. So Tesla goes to collect his well-earned reward, and what does Edison do? He just laughs. He laughs in his face and says, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor. It was all a joke. The promise, the money, it was never real." And as you can imagine, Tesla did not find it funny. He quit right there on the spot. I mean, who wouldn't? So here he is, betrayed, humiliated, the greatest genius of the era, and he's forced to dig ditches for $2 a day just to survive, just to eat, all while Edison is getting rich off the very work Tesla just did. And right there, that's when the seed of this deep, bitter rivalry was planted.
Okay, so that betrayal, it lit a fire under Tesla. He eventually partners up with an industrialist named George Westinghouse, and together, they start rolling out Tesla's superior AC technology. Edison sees this, and he just knows his DC empire is completely doomed. He couldn't win on the science, the tech wasn't on his side. So he decides to fight a different kind of war, a war of fear. And it turned into one of the most brutal and dirty smear campaigns you can possibly imagine.
His main tactic was simple but brutal. Convince everyone that Tesla's safe alternating current was deadly. He called it the killer current. The goal was to link AC power with one single idea in the public's mind: death. And believe me, he was willing to go to some truly horrifying lengths to make that happen.
And this is where the story just gets dark. I mean, really dark. Get this. Edison started paying kids 25 cents for stray dogs and cats. And what did he do with them? He publicly electrocuted them using Tesla's AC power to prove how dangerous it was. He secretly funded the invention of the first electric chair, and he made damn sure it used AC power. He even tried to get people to call the act of execution getting Westinghoused. And it all came to a head with the electrocution of Topsy, a circus elephant. He filmed it, an actual snuff film, disguised as a scientific demonstration, all to discredit his rival.
But here's the thing about truth. Despite all the propaganda, all the fear, all the ugliness, the science was still on Tesla's side. And this war wasn't going to be won with fear. It was going to be won with a spectacle. A city of light that would absolutely mesmerize the world and change the game forever.
You have to appreciate the comeback here. It was so swift, so powerful. Remember, just a few years earlier, in '84, he was digging ditches. But now, by 1893, with his new partner, he was on the verge of showing the entire world that his vision, his technology, was the future.
And this was the moment everything changed. The 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Tesla and Westinghouse had the contract to light the whole thing. A single switch was flipped and boom, hundreds of thousands of AC-powered bulbs lit up this incredible city of light. For the first time, the public saw with their own eyes that AC wasn't some killer current. It was beautiful, it was powerful, and it was safe.
That was pretty much the beginning of the end for Edison. But the final nail in the coffin? That came when Tesla's team won the contract to harness the power of Niagara Falls itself. I mean, you can't get a bigger stage than that. The war of currents was over. Tesla had won. His vision, alternating current, was going to power the world.
But, this is where the story takes this incredibly tragic turn. Because Tesla won the war, yes. But in one of the cruelest twists of fate you can imagine, that victory, it was going to cost him absolutely everything.
So it really makes you ask, who really won here? Because what happens next just completely blurs the lines between what it means to win and what it means to lose. See, to win that war, Tesla's partner, George Westinghouse, had nearly bankrupted his company. He was on the brink of total collapse. Now, Tesla had a royalty contract that was supposed to pay him for every bit of AC electricity sold. This contract would have made him the world's first billionaire. We're talking wealthier than Gates and Musk combined today, just an insane amount of money. So Westinghouse goes to Tesla and basically says, I can't pay you. If I try, the company goes under and AC dies with it. And what does Tesla do in that moment? He takes his ironclad billion-dollar contract, looks at the man who believed in him when no one else would, and he just tears it up. Just like that. He walked away from an unimaginable fortune to save his friend and to make sure his vision for the future survived. And when you look at the final accounting, it's brutal. Thomas Edison, he died a very wealthy, celebrated American hero. Nikola Tesla, he died broke and alone in a hotel room, mostly forgotten. So yeah, Edison won the battle for fame and fortune, no doubt. But Tesla won the battle for the future. And don't get it twisted. We are all living in Tesla's world, right now. The electricity coming out of the socket you're using to charge your phone, that's Tesla. Wi-Fi, radio signals flying through the air, remote controls, the motor in your fridge, all of it. All of it was made possible by the genius who died completely penniless. It's almost like he knew it would end this way. He once said, "The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine." He gave up the present, all the money, all the fame, because he was working on a future he knew he was building for all of us. And it turns out he was right. The future was his all along.